Black people can't afford to indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them.
Well, if he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy plans to help the working class?
Stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma. Sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
People keep saying that Whoopi Goldberg being removed from The View right after criticizing me is karma, but there's no such thing as karma. Life is random, and sometimes that randomness is hilarious. Take, for example, when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and eaten by lions, there's only one word for it: comedy. BillMaher has been tearing apart woke talking points like it's his full-time job, and his latest target is none other than Whoopi Goldberg. And let's be honest, she had it coming, especially considering her long list of questionable statements since 2022. Maher didn't just criticize her, he dismantled her arguments piece by piece in a brutal takedown that left her scrambling like a cartoon character dodging anvils. So, what exactly did Goldberg say to trigger Maher's unfiltered response? And how did his clapback leave the woke crowd stunned? Buckle up, this isn't just a bumpy ride. It's a roller coaster with no seatbelts.
We have got to get past this endless, unforgiving, zero-tolerance mindset bent on punishing and disappearing anyone caught saying the wrong thing. The right response to speech you don't like is more speech.
Whoopi Goldberg poked the bear, and now she's dealing with the claws of brutal truth. And it isn't pretty. In our previous video, BillMaher completely dismantled Sunny Hostin for twisting his words on air. But apparently, the View team didn't take that loss quietly. This time, Whoopi Goldberg stepped up, seemingly on a revenge mission to deliver a counterattack. It's almost as if Sunny couldn't handle the heat, so she called in backup. And Whoopi came in swinging, ready to rumble like a contestant on a reality show no one asked for.
Black people can't afford to indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them.
Well, if he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy plans to help the working class?
Classic Whoopi Goldberg, flipping through the woke playbook like it's her Bible. When the argument falls apart, create a straw man and go on the offensive. BillMaher made a simple point about Black Americans wanting better jobs, a stronger economy, and responsible policing. Clear enough, right? Yet Whoopi responded by talking about voting for a former prosecutor with plans for the working class. Does it connect? Not at all. It's like she was throwing darts blindfolded, hoping one would stick. Spoiler, none did. And Maher didn't let it slide.
Tear down statues of Lincoln and get rid of the police. Just, no. It's not that I've gotten old, it's that your ideas are stupid.
BillMaher didn't hold back. He called out Whoopi's arguments as nonsensical, typical for The View, which has become the political equivalent of a train wreck, painful to watch, yet impossible to ignore. The show is known for controversial, and often questionable, takes on nearly everything. But Sunny Hostin and Whoopi Goldberg managed to escalate the chaos even further with their outrageous commentary. Remember when Charlemagne the God appeared as a guest? You could almost see him questioning whether he'd stepped into an alternate reality.
The criticism is valid because, Democrats stand on this moral high ground all the time and, they act so self-righteous. The reality is he didn't have to say anything in regards to, whether or not, his son wanted to be pardoned. He could have said, hey, man, I'm not focused on that right.
Here's the background. President Joe Biden, who often says that no one is above the law, pardoned his son, Hunter Biden, after Hunter was found guilty of corruption and related offenses. So much for family values. Naturally, this sparked an uproar. After all, how do you preach accountability while giving your own son a free pass? Hunter's guilt was as clear as a toddler with cookie crumbs on his face, but accountability didn't seem to make it onto the family calendar. Charlemagne pointed this out. If the woke crowd claims that no one is above the law, then they should live by that standard. Simple enough. But Whoopi disagreed.
I'm gonna stop you for a second.
Uh-oh.
Only because you don't know that it was a lie. We don't know why he changed
You
his
really think he just changed his mind over Thanksgiving weekend all of a
No,
sudden?
I'm going to tell you what I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he changed his mind because he got sick of watching everybody else get over.
And just like that, we have another eye-roll-worthy moment from the queen of cringe herself, Whoopi Goldberg. This time, she claimed that President Biden didn't lie when he said, "No one is above the law." Really, Whoopi? There's a mountain of evidence, audio, video, and probably even cave paintings, showing he said exactly that.
This nation was founded on the principle that there are no kings in America. Each of us is equal before the law. No one is above the law.
Watching Whoopi deny reality is like watching someone argue the sky isn't blue while standing under a cloudless sky. Her mental gymnastics could qualify her for the Olympics, though she'd likely trip over her own logic. You could see the shock on Charlemagne's face at her claims, but she didn't stop there. She continued, suggesting that maybe Biden didn't lie, maybe he just changed his mind because he was tired of people taking advantage of him. Charlemagne was stunned into silence.
So I'm just going to follow the straight and narrow always, because that's what's expected of Democrats.
But that's their fault. They're the ones that
You're
go out.
mis-
They're the ones that go out there and they stand on this moral high ground.
Listen,
they don't have to do that.
The problem with the woke crowd is simple. They only call out wrongdoing when it comes from someone outside their circle. But when the offender is one of their own, outrage quickly turns into excuses, whispered defenses, and selective amnesia. Whoopi and her crew got away with their remarks because it was Charlemagne on set. But when BillMaher heard about it, he metaphorically said, "Hold my beer," and delivered a takedown for the ages.
You love to speak truth to power, and we always should, but you have completely lost the ability to speak truth to bullshit.
Maher summed it up perfectly. The woke crowd loves to act like moral superheroes, but their double standards are impossible to ignore. Hunter Biden was found guilty, plain and simple. But because his father sits in the Oval Office, he walks away untouched. If it were anyone else, they'd demand punishment. But when it's one of their own, justice is suddenly optional. Maher was right, it's hypocrisy at its finest. The real question is, how long will Americans put up with this? Maher didn't just strike a nerve, he issued a wake-up call. But things got even more interesting when he brought up the role of the mainstream media.
Is it appropriate to bury the Hunter Biden?
You're talking about the press doing that?
He's saying that's what they did, and that is what they did. They buried the Hunter Biden story before the election because they were like, we can't risk having the election thrown to Trump. We'll tell them after the election.
And we know for a fact that that's what they did?
Of course, you don't
but
follow
I'm
this.
saying
You
know for a fact that that's what they did. I don't know what they did.
I know, because you only watch MSNBC.
No, that's not true.
The media went out of its way to minimize the Hunter Biden scandal, working overtime to protect President Biden and derail Trump's re-election. Major outlets dismissed the story as of Russian disinformation, despite growing evidence, and dissenting voices were censored. Whoopi Goldberg gladly joined the chorus on The View, mocking the legitimacy of the accusations. But Maher wasn't having it. He called her out for defending the narrative instead of seeking truth, exposing the hypocrisy for all to see.
Above any matters of politics or what's right or wrong, the one thing I know for sure about America is this. It's run by mean girls. Mean girls in the press and in politics and in life. And when they smell blood in the water, the lust to finish off a vulnerable person will never be denied.
Maher was spot on. The hosts of The View, especially Whoopi Goldberg, aren't just woke, they're like a pack of mean sharks circling anyone who disagrees with them. Their style of debate isn't about dialogue, it's about silencing dissent. Whoopi, in particular, has perfected the art of dismissing opposing views with a wave of the hand. But Maher called them out, exposing this behavior as bullying disguised as activism. For viewers tired of one-sided narratives, Maher's response felt like a breath of fresh air.
Democrats run for office as if the voters don't live here, as if they don't go to the grocery store and Starbucks and the office, but they do. But a poll last year asked, if America is the greatest country in the world, more blacks and Hispanic Americans agreed with that than the white progressives. It asked if racism is built into our society. White progressives agreed with that at higher levels than black and Hispanic people. It asked if government should increase border security. Same result. Hispanic Americans are less okay with illegal immigration than whitey. And black people can't afford to indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them. Black people, they're just like us.
Maher argued that it's time for the woke crowd to accept reality. Donald Trump didn't steal the election, he won it, because millions of Americans supported him. Democracy doesn't malfunction just because your side loses. Instead of blaming racism, Russia, or whatever trend is popular on Twitter, maybe it's time to face facts: the other team scored. If progressives want to win in 2028 or 2032, they need strategy, not victimhood.
I said there's a coalition of Trump voters, people who really like him, they certainly are those, and then there's people who don't necessarily like him that much, but they still think he's less crazy than stuff that strikes them as aggressively anti-common sense.
Maher hit another nerve. Not every Trump voter is a die-hard MAGA supporter waving flags in their yard. Many simply voted against what they saw as an increasingly out-of-touch agenda pushed by Democrats and the woke movement. When people are cheering for biological males to compete in women's sports or showing sympathy for extremist groups, the middle quickly tunes out. Voters didn't pick Trump because they loved him, they chose what felt like the lesser of two evils. If the left want to win, they may need to stop embracing fringe ideas and start appealing to average Americans again.
Stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma, sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
In the end, BillMaher didn't just respond to Whoopi Goldberg, he tore apart her arguments with ruthless clarity and comedy. Whoopi, who often acts as a gatekeeper of acceptable opinions, lashed out at Maher simply for disagreeing. But Maher, true to form, refused to bow down. He called out the hypocrisy of a show called The View attacking him for having a view. His takedown was like a masterpiece, painted with sarcasm and logic. And with that, we wrap up today's episode. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like and subscribe for more.